Just a few months ago, an organization called Students for Fair Admissions filed a lawsuit against Harvard on the basis that the school was using an illegal quota system that maintains a preferential ratio of Black, Latino, and strangely, white applicants, discriminating against Asians despite competitive achievement level and varying socioeconomic status. I've done some research through a variety of scholarly articles, contemporary articles, and books, and wanted to get some perspective from personal experiences of AAPI students. My first interview recipient is Joanne Doe, my former college counselor. I met Joanne in an outreach program at my high school, where she helps mostly second-generation, low-income students of color in their college application process. Her parents were Vietnamese refugees, and she was raised in a middle-class, mostly white community.
More apt to helping each other at the high schools where we serve. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that they know that they're pretty, like the majority of the students are first gen, and so when they figure something out, they're happy to share that information with each other. Whereas when I was growing up, it was very personalized and individualized as well, and so people were seen more as competition than as someone that you could help, especially because if the perception is that you have resources, then why would I help you if you can just pay for it the way I'm paying for it?
This raised a very interesting phenomena that I also noticed in data I gathered in a survey asking Asian American students about their personal experiences applying to elite universities. Most respondents belonged to the middle class and were of East Asian descent. When asked if they felt affirmative action might have helped them or model minority myth might have hurt them, responses were mixed. However, those who believed their chances were affected negatively said, "I had pretty good, diverse credentials, number 2 of my class of 420, but not only is my last name Kim, but some white folks who were definitely less impressive got accepted. I graduated from an Ivy League school and now work in admissions. There's definitely discrimination against Asians." Besides this fact, the top schools that rejected respondents included Columbia, Yale, Princeton, UPenn, and Harvard, all of which do not have Asian American populations that are equal to or exceeding that of white students, let alone any other minority group encroaching on the vast majority of white applicants. The 3 universities that have the largest disparities are Yale, which is 46% white, 17% Asian, Princeton, 44% white and 21% Asian, and UPenn, which was 44% white and 21% Asian. I was put into contact with Ryan Liu, a second-generation college student at Yale University who came from a low-income background and a family of Cambodian refugees and Latino Asian transnational immigrants.
I think generally among Asian Americans and the wider population, when you're talking about Asian American achievement and representation in college, a lot of people assume that AAPI is a gigantic monolith and they're all well represented in higher education. Chinese Americans, for example, have a higher college going rate than a lot of other racial groups. But when you break it down and look at Laos Americans or Cambodian Americans or Vietnamese Americans, they are as underrepresented as a lot of the big racial categories we usually talk about. For the population that has traditionally been the dominant group in these types of institutions, you might have some pushback among some people. And I think especially in this period right now, there's a lot of polarization and a lot of people feel like they're being left behind by a changing economy, a changing world. That thing can reinforce the idea, especially at a place like Yale.
In conclusion, we are witnessing a very interesting situation happening in the environment of higher education. As globalization begins to affect all aspects of our lives, we will have to be vigilant of one, discrimination of the Asian community in general, and two, address the problem of why there isn't an accurate representation of the minorities within the AAPI community, as well as other racial groups that are still extremely small minorities in these institutions. Thank you for watching.